Sorry, mate.
Oh, sorry, mate. Excuse me.
What are you doing?
English.
You're taking the mickey you picked on the wrong person.
No, I'm not picking on you at all.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and in this instalment of Versus, we'll be putting Wernham Hogg and Dunder Mifflin head-to-head for the second time to see which version of the paper supplies-based sitcom comes up trumps.
Don't think of me as a boss, but know that I am.
I don't think you are.
What, I'm team leader, so I am. I'm higher up than you.
We're hopping back and forth over the pond to compare the two shows on a wide range of categories, and we're not stopping at which boss is the most annoying. Which iteration of The Office is your favourite? Leave us a comment below and tell us why. Round 1. Guest stars. Both versions of The Office feature iconic core casts who make the show what they are. From David Brent to Michael Scott, or Tim and Dawn to Jim and Pam, the programmes are both rooted deeply in their principal characters. It's fair to say, however, that they dealt with guest stars in very different ways.
If you're wondering who this stranger is, wandering round, she's writing an article on me for Inside Paper.
In its short run, the UK version had very little in the way of cameo appearances from big names. Co-creator and writer Stephen Merchant does a brilliant job as Nathan, better known as the Og Monster, to his friend Gareth. But that's basically it.
What's the weather like up there?
Oh, I've heard that before.
Parents put you in a grow bag when you were little, did they?
That's our old one.
Let's grow ourselves a big, lanky, goggle-eyed freak.
All right, calm down, mate. There's no need to get offensive.
No, I was just enjoying
Call you fatty.
Instead, the series takes a rather insular approach. There's little doubt that the UK Office is David Brent's production through and through. Bringing in numerous celebrity cameos would have probably distracted from that.
Because we're like one big organism, one big animal. Yeah? The guys upstairs on the phone, they're the mouth. You know? Guys down here, the hands.
And what part are you?
Good question. Probably the humour.
The US version, however, boasts an enviable list of guest stars.
I want the job. I really do. It's just the rest of my family's in the Finger Lakes right now. I'm supposed to be in the Finger Lakes right now. I told them I was on a hike, snuck away to do this interview. I gotta get back pretty soon, don't worry.
Jim Carrey, Evan Peters, and Will Ferrell are among the many celebrities who appear in one capacity or another.
My name is Luke Cooper. I love cinema. My favorite movies are Citizen Kane and The Boondock Saints.
It's testament to the show's pulling power that they were able to bag so many high-profile actors in relatively minor roles.
Okay, sorry about the delay, everybody, but we were at the DMV waiting in line.
Fall asleep right after sex. Huh, guys?
Nope. Go back to the script.
Granted, not all of these star turns landed. Ricky Gervais's shark-jumping, cannon-crossing appearance as David Brent arguably marked a low point in the show's creative history. Still, the majority of them had real positive impacts on the series. Idris Elba's Charles Minor, for instance, is a key part of the Michael Scott Paper Company arc, one of the most beloved in the show.
I want my old job back. I want my old parking space back. I want a Sebring.
They don't make them anymore.
And I want Charles gone.
I'm not firing Charles. He's very valuable.
That's very kind of you to say, David.
I need him gone.
There's no contest. UK 0, US 1. Round 2, Chris Finch versus Todd Packer. As David Brent never fails to remind us, Chris Finch, or Finchy as he's better known, is a bloody good rep. Unfortunately, that's in David's eyes only.
I had a job when I was studying, so...
Yeah, right, and what was your job? Professor in charge of watching Countdown every day.
It's clever and funny, I bloody hate him now.
Finchy, who's played to perfection by Ralph Ineson, is actually a pretty deplorable person. He's mean, boastful, and has rather problematic beliefs. Unfortunately, many a Brit can relate to knowing a guy like him at work.
Yeah, like you could get anyone like the car.
Yeah, what? Well, just because I don't kiss and tell doesn't mean I don't get...
You don't normally kiss, so they've got nothing to tell.
The things he says and does are only funny because you're laughing at him, not with him. And David's pathetic attempts to win his approval are a key part of the show.
Banter.
No, it's not banter.
It's not banter, not now.
Finchy's presence tells us a lot about how willing the manager is to say and do offensive things in a bid to feel validated. David Koechner's Todd Packer is all of those awful things too. And his relationship with Michael pretty much mirrors that of Finchy and David to the letter.
Come on!
What has two thumbs and likes to bone your mom?
This guy! Oh, you are so bad. To be fair, blondes, brunettes, you know, there are a lot of dumb people out there.
Right. They are women, right?
Oh, wow! I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
I said it.
Granted, Packer is slightly wackier to suit the different comedic spin on the US show, but his character still presents one of the most faithful translations from the UK version.
I spent 6 hours carefully removing the frosting and then layering in a variety of drugs, some legal, some not, some laxative, some constipating. You don't fire the Pac-Man.
Yet he doesn't feel quite as impactful on the series as his counterpart. After all, David sucking up to Finchy is the source of many brilliant comedic moments. While that isn't to say the Michael-Packer relationship isn't hilarious, the Brit simply stands out more in his respective show. UK 1, US 1. Round 3, comic tone. It's only natural that The Office would take on a different comedic style on either side of the pond. After all, British and American humour can be rather different from one another.
Well, don't do that. Well, eat it out. There's people starving in the world, which I hate. So, and it's a waste. So, how do you know it's yours?
Because it's got my name on it in Tipex.
Yeah, don't eat it now, in chemicals.
The UK version of the show is pretty bleak, and its gags are darker and drier as a result. In other words, it's cringe comedy at its finest.
Can you make it peck at your mates like Roy Hudd?
Rod Hull.
Yeah, just do that. Good.
The jokes are almost always on David Brent, Gareth, and the other big-headed characters who can't see just how idiotic they're being. The result is rather realistic, unlike traditional sitcoms that are littered with zingers and punchlines. The US show stuck rather closely to the UK original at first, and felt somewhat awkward as a result.
Hold on. Judges in session. What is the problem here?
You put my stuff in Jell-O again. That's real professional. Thanks. This is the third time, and it wasn't funny the first two times either, Jim.
The stapler in the Jell-O joke, for instance, didn't quite land as well in the States as it did in the United Kingdom. But once they switched up the formula, things really clicked. The comedy proceeded to become broader and goofier.
Maybe it's a shortcut, Dwight. It said go to the right.
It can't mean that. There's a lake there.
I think it knows where it is going.
This is the
the
lake.
machine
This
knows.
is the lake.
Stop yelling at me.
No, it's
Stop
up
yelling.
there. There's no road here.
Michael Scott driving his car into a lake is a prime example of how this change affected the stories. It's hilarious, but not exactly realistic. And it's certainly not the type of thing that would typically happen to employees at Wernham Hogg.
The fire's shooting at us!
While the US iteration is unquestionably very funny, there are plenty of other shows that make you laugh in a similar way. The UK version is more specific, obscure, and unique, which gives it the edge. UK 2, US 1.
There's a weight of intellect behind my comedy. Yeah?
Round 4, merger storyline. In both editions of the series, a storyline dealing with the merger of The Office with another branch becomes vital to the development of the plot.
Neil is Jennifer's replacement. He's sort of overseeing
David's boss.
Just a little bit above me, and that's only because
UK manager.
The UK merger storyline is hugely important, mainly because it serves as the catalyst for David Brent's downfall. His whole world depends on being able to manage the Slough office of Wernham Hogg. But even though the Swindon branch ends up incorporated into his office under his leadership, as opposed to the other way around, things quickly deteriorate.
I'm not used to public squeaking. I piss pronunciate a lot of my worms.
David's inability to win the respect of his new staff proves to be a major hurdle. And his repeated clashes with his former Swindon counterpart Neil, who's been promoted and is now his superior, ultimately bring about his redundancy package.
It's good timing, isn't it? Telling me that today, the day of laughter. Brilliant.
In the US, however, the merger of the Scranton and Stamford branches of Dunder Mifflin doesn't have quite such catastrophic effects on Michael Scott. In fact, the Stamford office introduces us to one of the most notable characters in the show, the Nard Dog Andy Bernard himself.
That was an overreaction.
We also get to know Karen Filippelli, another great addition, whose romance with Jim brings a whole new dimension to his complex relationship with Pam.
Wait, you're not still interested in him?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, no. I was confused by your phrasing.
The merger allows these two new characters, as well as Jim, to mingle with the Scranton crew. And they make their presence known in ways that hugely benefit the show.
I'll be the number 2 guy here in Scranton in 6 weeks. How? Name repetition, personality mirroring, and never breaking off a handshake. I'm always thinking one step ahead, like a carpenter that makes stairs.
At the end of the day, that's what gives it the edge over the UK merger. Don't get us wrong, the British arc is superbly acted and written. But David Brent probably would have masterminded his own downfall at some point, regardless of the Swindon branch arriving in town. The US show without Andy and Karen, however, just wouldn't be the same. UK 2, US 2.
Okay.
Baby, don't hurt me.
Here we go.
Don't hurt me no more. What is love to? Baby, don't hurt me.
Here we go. Oh,
Don't hurt me.
Oh.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Round 5, Gareth Keenan versus Dwight Schrute.
Now, I know there's some rumors out there, and I just kind of want to set the record straight.
I'm assistant regional manager. I should know first.
Assistant to the regional manager.
Yeah.
They're two of the most beloved characters in their respective shows. Both fill the role of assistant to the regional manager. Both are massive suck-ups to their bosses, and both have a pretty goofy haircut. But in the finer details, they're actually quite different.
Alright, shall I tell him?
You don't know what it is?
Alright, you tell him then with my permission.
Need your permission.
Permission granted. Use as you wish.
Gareth is played incredibly well by Mackenzie Crook in the UK version. He's smarmy and a stickler for the rules, especially the ones he thinks will impress David Brent. He actually sticks a sign on his door while trying to find the employee responsible for making a crude joke at David's expense.
There's a lot of, I'm trying to work in here.
Sorry, mate, yeah. How is the investigation going?
Good.
This simple act provides a window into his personality and summarises his leech-like persona perfectly.
It's like making the div kid at school milk monitor. No one respects it.
I think they do.
No, they don't, Gareth.
Yes, they do, because if people were rude to me, then I used to give them their milk last, so that it was warm.
Dwight, on the other hand, is a little more outlandish and cartoony.
What is going on? What is going on?
Michael is sick, and he wants one of us to rescue him.
I'm coming, Michael! I'm gonna save you! Michael is in trouble! I do not want okay? Hold on, Michael! I am coming!
He's weirder, and somehow even more of an obnoxious suck-up to Michael than Gareth is to David. But he's also surprisingly well-rounded.
I feel so stupid. I sit next to him every day.
You're not stupid. Jazz is stupid.
Jazz is stupid! I mean, just play the right notes!
He's arguably one of the best developed characters in this show. The course of his relationship with Angela is heartwarming to say the least. And the glimpses we get into his home life and family history at Schrute Farm explain a lot about who he is.
Mose, what are you doing? No, Mose, put the manure down! Put it down, do not throw it! Do not, ow!
As great as Gareth is, that isn't something we truly get with him. We know he was in the Territorial Army, but that's about it. There isn't as deep a backstory to him as there is with Dwight, nor is there the same level of emotional vulnerability. We're sorry, Keenan, but Schrute's just more fleshed out than you. UK 2, US 3.
It's me. I'm the bobblehead. Yes!
It would seem that for a second time, Dunder Mifflin has seen off the threat level midnight of Wernham Hogg to claim victory for the US by a score of 3-2.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.